The other day, I decided, you know what? I need to go into my bank account because I need to know exactly what I'm paying. So I opened my bank app and I started going through everything, every single bill. So as I was doing that, I saw an amount that I didn't recognize. So I clicked on the details just to find out exactly what it is that I was paying for. And yeah, I had a cringe moment. Actually, it was more than a cringe moment. It was like a painful moment for me because I realized I had subscribed to an app unknowingly. Because I remember a time when I was making a video trying to change my face to an older version of me. It was a video about aging. So at that time, I was going through different apps until I finally found the one I was looking for. So what I didn't realize was I actually subscribed to one of those apps. I don't know, I don't remember subscribing to any of those apps because the one I used in the end is a free app. So in this video, I want to talk about some of the ways that we could be losing money unintentionally. And I've just given you one example. So if, like me, you're just trying to navigate the rising cost of living, you're just trying to pay your bills, to stretch that salary, that wage you get at the end of every month, and keep food on the table, look after your family the best way you can. If you're that person, then you can't afford to lose money unintentionally. So anyway, what are the ways, sneaky ways that people lose money in the UK unintentionally? The first reason I've just given you: subscriptions, forgotten subscriptions. Maybe you no longer watch Netflix and you've decided you don't want to watch that anymore, but you forget to cancel the Netflix subscription. Maybe it's Amazon subscription, maybe it's Audible, maybe it's a gym subscription. Whatever type of subscription that you've forgotten to cancel, now is the time to go into those apps, log into that account and double check. Because with some subscriptions, you might think that you've cancelled when you've only just paused the subscription. Some subscriptions are actually difficult to cancel. Yeah, they take you through some hoops. Some subscriptions as well, you think, oh, it's a one-off, when in actual fact, they'll just keep taking that money at the end of every month. So just go and double check and triple check, because some subscriptions can be quite sneaky like that. So the biggest takeaway from this point is to go into your bank account, look at your bank statements, go through everything with a fine-tooth comb and actually find out what it is exactly you're paying for every month. So that is the first way you could be losing money in the UK. The second way you could be losing money in the UK is through paying for convenience. You know, those Deliveroo and Uber Eats orders that we make, because it is easy, it is quicker, and especially when we can't be bothered to cook because maybe we're just feeling lazy, or as I said, you want that convenience. And also, there are times when you decide, you know what, I'm just going to pop into Tesco's instead of making the trip to Aldi, because as we know, especially if you live in the UK, I mean, I don't know about you, but according to my experience, Aldi tends to be cheaper for me than going to buy groceries from Tesco. So if I decide one day I can't be bothered to make the trip to Aldi, let me just pop into Tesco's because it is nearer. Yes, I might be saving a bit of time, but guess what? I'm bleeding money in exchange. So that is the second way you could be losing money in the UK. The third way you could be losing money in the UK is using sales like Black Friday and so on to justify unnecessary spending. I know this one is something that I understand, because the worst thing is telling ourselves that we are saving money by spending it. Because here's the thing, 50% of the dress you don't need, the dress you're not going to wear, is 100% that you've wasted. You've wasted 100% of that money. I used to fall for this trap. Every Black Friday, I would indulge in what I call emotional spending, disguised as smart shopping. It wasn't smart shopping. I was just wasting my money buying something I wasn't going to use, especially when it comes to clothes. There are some dresses that I bought and spent the whole year, sometimes longer, without even wearing them. And by the time I think, okay, now I'm ready to wear the dress, guess what? I can't even fit into the dress. I've put on a little weight and so on. That is a waste. So that is another way that you could be losing money in the UK. Another way you could be losing money in the UK is by not switching to better tariffs, to better broadband deals or phone deals. I mean, yeah, I've been with the same phone company for years. I know the contract that I have or the deal that I have at the moment is not the best that is out there, but because I can't be bothered to actually take the necessary steps to switch, because every time when it comes to the renewal period, when it gets nearer to me renewing my contract, they always dangle that deal. They'll be like, oh, we've got this, deal that is really great for you. We can offer you this, we can offer you that. And somehow they manage to keep me. I mean, I tell myself, okay, this time I'm going to do what it takes to look for cheaper options out there. But when it comes down to it, like, I can't be asked. I know it is me just being lazy. I don't want the hassle of switching. But guess what? It is costing me as well. So switching is something that you can do to save money. You can switch your utility providers, look around, compare prices, switch your phone or broadband deals to save a bit of money, because as they say, every little helps, every penny counts. So yeah, that's another way that you could be losing money in the UK. Another way you could be losing money in the UK is by relying too much on credit, on buy now, pay later. In the UK, credit is everywhere. I mean, yeah, we have store cards, we have credit cards, we have this and that, and it is easy to fall into the trap. I've told you my story. I've made videos on this channel talking about how I found myself in money jail. It is because of these credit cards, because I used to receive letters through my inbox saying, oh, congratulations, you've been pre-approved for this credit card, for that credit card, for this loan. And when you see that, it is easy to get carried away in the excitement, because the word pre-approved, I mean, that sounds exciting, isn't it? It implies that they've already determined that you qualify for this credit. Maybe it's £1,000, £2,000, whatever amount of money. But what they don't tell you upfront is the catch. There's always a catch. Yes, the catch is there in black and white, but guess what? It is in fine print, small print. There is a reason why it is in small print. How many of us read the fine print? I never used to bother. It is only after I got into trouble that I began to read everything. So this is another way that we end up losing money, through those hidden charges, because credit cards actually allow you to pay the minimum. So when you see that, okay, your minimum repayment is just £5, you'll be like, wow, that is manageable, right? But guess what? That is going to add up in the form of interest. And you find that you won't be able to repay that credit card all your life if you keep repaying in small amounts. That's just how credit cards work. And let me tell you something, when it comes to debt, because I've been in that situation, having debt, living with debt, yeah, it's a heavy load to carry. Because even if you go to work, you get paid, you know that you've got debt. So when you're looking at that money in your bank account, a part of you knows that that is not your money. You don't truly have that money because you owe a lot of money somewhere. Yeah, I mean, it makes you feel some type of way. So this is why I'm saying being in debt is a heavy load, and especially if you're dealing with debt silently, which brings me to my last point, which is ask for help. Not asking for help is one of the ways that you stay or you lose money in the UK. Let me explain. Some of us, migrants or UK natives, lose money out of pride, out of fear of being judged. We get into debt, and sometimes when the debt becomes so much or too much, yeah, there is this shame that is associated with being in so much debt. Unfortunately, this is the reality. You get to a point where you are ashamed to tell someone that you owe £20,000, because they'll be like, what? You owe that amount of money? So unfortunately, that fear is real. And in a way, you want to maintain your dignity. You want to maintain your pride. It is understandable. However, when you let things fester, especially when it comes to debt, because debt only keeps piling up, it won't go away by itself. So there is help out there. There is help, because unfortunately as well, I read a story about a woman who unalived herself because the debt was just too much. And yeah, those things shouldn't happen in this day and age. As I say, there's always help out there. Your lenders can actually find ways to help you out. They can come up with solutions tailored to your situation, to your circumstances, whether it's budgeting tools, debt support, or just talking to someone, especially to seek mental health support. Because when you're dealing with debt, money issues are not something to be taken lightly, especially nowadays in this economic climate. Because asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It is just smart. It is smart to act before things spiral. As I said, I've been in this situation, but if I can get out of it, you can too. So anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you in this video. As always, you know what to do. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.